The dead road, driving at night has always been an eerie experience for me. The way the darkness seems to swallow the world, leaving only the faint glimmers of the headlights to guide the way, sends shivers down my spine. Yet, on that fateful night, I found myself embarking on a journey down a desolate stretch of road, completely unaware of the horrors that awaited me. It was a moonless night, the blackest of black, as I set out on a long drive to visit my family. The winding road ahead seemed to stretch endlessly into the unknown, surrounded by dense forests that whispered secrets to anyone daring enough to listen. The solitude was palpable, an oppressive weight pressing down on my chest. As I ventured further into the darkness, a sense of unease settled within me. The radio crackled with static, failing to provide any solace, and the occasional hoot of an owl only served to intensify the eerie atmosphere. Shadows danced on the periphery of my vision, teasing and taunting, their fleeting presence sending chills down my spine. My eyes strained to pierce through the darkness, searching for any sign of life. Suddenly, a flicker of light caught my attention. Relief washed over me as I spotted a gas station up ahead. It stood like a lone sentinel in the darkness, a beacon of hope in the desolation. I pulled into the empty lot, hoping to find respite from the isolation. As I stepped out of the car, a bone-chilling gust of wind whistled through the air, raising the hairs on the back of my neck. I hurriedly made my way inside, the creaking door echoing in the silence. The interior was dimly lit, casting long shadows that danced upon the walls. The faint hum of a refrigerator and the distant buzz of a flickering light were the only sounds that broke the stillness. I approached the counter, where an elderly man with tired eyes stood, his thin lips curved into a weary smile, as if he had seen too much and had grown indifferent to the world's sorrows. I asked for directions, hoping to avoid the lonely road ahead, but his response sent a chill down my spine. "Son, there's only one road that'll take you where you want to go," he rasped, his voice laden with an unspoken warning. "But it's a cursed road. They say it's haunted, and those who drive it after dark never make it out alive." His words hung heavy in the air, and for a moment, I hesitated, but the lure of my destination and the thought of seeing my family urged me on. I thanked the old man and, against his advice, returned to my car and continued on my journey. The road stretched out before me like an endless abyss, enveloping me in its cold embrace. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, as if unseen eyes followed my every move. The darkness pressed closer, swallowing the world outside the reach of my headlights. A sense of dread gnawed at my gut, and I desperately sought to distract myself. But then, a figure appeared in the distance, standing in the middle of the road. Panic surged through me as I slammed on the brakes, my heart pounding in my chest. I strained my eyes to make out the figure's features, and as it slowly came into focus, I gasped in horror. It was a woman, her tattered white dress billowing around her. Her face was twisted into a grotesque mask of pain, her eyes hollow and lifeless. I watched in disbelief as she reached out a skeletal hand, her fingers curling in a beckoning gesture. The air grew thick with a suffocating heaviness, as if death itself permeated the atmosphere. Instinctively, I threw the car into reverse, desperately trying to escape the nightmare unfolding before me. But as I looked into the rearview mirror, my blood ran cold. The road behind me had vanished, replaced by an endless void of darkness. There was no turning back. Fear consumed me as the woman's haunting cries filled the air. I accelerated, the engine roaring in protest, desperate to escape the grip of that accursed road. Shadows swirled around me, taunting and clawing at the car. The world became a dizzying blur of twisted shapes and tormenting whispers. Just when I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, a blinding light pierced the darkness. I emerged from the abyss, my car screeching to a halt on a familiar road. The first rays of dawn painted the sky in hues of pink and orange, washing away the night's horrors. Shaken to my core, I took a moment to collect myself before continuing my journey. The memories of that night still haunt me, a constant reminder of the perils that lie hidden in the darkest corners of the world. I now drive with caution, forever wary of the roads less traveled and the unknown terrors they hold.